Welcome into the Gamble and Gains UFC 316 preview show, where today we will be going over all 5 of the pay-per-view main event fights with predictions, breakdowns, and best bets. After that, I'll take you through the rest of the card where I see some opportunities for some best bets as well. We have a great fight night for you coming Saturday, June 7th. So, starting right off, let's get into it with Vicente Luque and Kevin Holland. This is going to be a very good fight. It's going to be a fun fight. Just going to, right off the bat, tell you there are no best bets here. So, with Kevin Holland, Vicente Luque, they're both kind of in this crossroads, right? So, Holland is coming off, he's 2-3 in his last fight, had a good win against Gunnar Nelson his last time out, but again, 2-3. He's lost to some good talent. He's been fighting in the top of this weight class for a very long time now. He comes in at the minus 280 favorite, so initially might be looking to fade at first. At least I was. Holland here, you know, he's on the older side. He's been doing it for a while. 2-3 in his last, 2-3 in his last 5, and then he is actually 2-4 even in his last 6. If you go back and look at last 6, he lost to Jack Della Maddalena at the end of 2023, and then but we look at his opponent Vicente Luque, looking for something to make me want to bet him right at plus 230. It's a good juicy number. Unfortunately, he's also 2-3 in his last 5. Now he did come out with a win last time out, but nothing here screams, bet Luque. So with that, I'm actually going to go with a prediction here on Kevin Holland. However, I am not going a best bet. I don't really love the under here either. It's a little bit juice to the under. I'm not totally sure as to why. It's kind of hard to tell with Holland if you're going to get that finish, if you're not going to get that finish. And I mean, sometimes that finish even comes in that round 3. So I don't really love the under there either. So we're going to go prediction Kevin Holland to get the victory, but no best bet. That is not the case, though, as we head to our next fight on the pay-per-view. We have Mario Bautista versus UFC newcomer Patchy. So Bautista is 15-2 in his MMA career, and he has rattled off 7 straight victories. Looking impressive, and he moved up in competition, split decision, so, I don't love it when I see split decision on the resume, but he did beat Jose Aldo by split decision, and anytime you can get a win against a legend like Aldo, I like to see that. So again, he's got 7 straight wins in that bantamweight division, and he is taking on Patrick Patchy Mix. This is his first fight in the UFC. He's been fighting in Bellator for a while now. He does have victories in Bellator over guys like Magomed Magomedov and Sergio Pettis. That said, we are going to go with Bautista here at plus 160. I think plus 160 is a little bit too much to ignore. This is going to be a close fight, but that plus 160 really catches my eye, and we're going to go with Mario Bautista to win at plus 160. Up next, we have Kelvin Gastelum, who is a plus 290 underdog, versus Joe Pyfer, a minus 380 favorite. Right off the bat, I'm going to have to agree with the odds makers here. Prediction is going to be Pyfer. I like to give the underdogs the benefit of the doubt if there's a reason to. I don't really see one in this fight. Kelvin is 2-3 in his last 5, whereas Pyfer is 4-1 in his last 5. And those 4 wins have all been extremely impressive. So he has 5 fights in the UFC, 4-1. He has a knockout, he has a submission, and then he has 2 other knockouts in the UFC. And that is where our best bet is going here as well. Knockout, Joe Pyfer, plus 225. This just seems wrong, right? So odds makers think he's going to win. Minus 380 clearly indicates that. Now, if he wins, the likelihood that it's by knockout, I would say is more than 50%, right? at plus 225, and we think he's clearly going to win. We think he's probably going to win by knockout. Plus 225 seems like a steal here. I really, really like this bet. This is probably my favorite bet of the night. Pfeiffer at plus 225. Now, I know Gastelum he doesn't get finished a lot, but Pfeiffer is just on such a roll. I see that happening here in this fight. Now, I also have another play here, and this is going to be for my daily fantasy prize picks types of players. We're going to want to take the under in this fight. I saw prize picks has it right now at 12.75. So we're going to take the under there. That basically means under 2.7 rounds, right? And I really like that play. Coupled with a couple of other things, maybe there on prize picks, which we'll get into later in this show. But keep tabs on that one, under 2.5. We head to the co-main event of the evening. This is going to be fascinating. This is fascinating. So Pena is plus 500, and Harrison is minus 800. Harrison only has 2 fights in the UFC, and she has looked good. If not, she's looked better than good. She's looked dominant in both of her UFC fights. Obviously, an Olympian. She has incredible strength, and you can see it. She submitted Holly Holm in her UFC debut back at UFC 300, which is actually the background below. I was at that fight. That was one of the best cards I've ever seen in person or on TV. And then she took care of Ketlin Vieira pretty easily. It went to a decision. She didn't get the finish, but took care of business pretty easily. But she comes in at a minus 800 as the challenger to Julianna Pena. Now, Pena has been around for a long, long time. Plus 500, it's like you really want to take her, but then you look kind of at the track record. It's like, yeah, she beat Amanda Nunes. That's working 3.5 years ago at this point. Right? Then she lost to Nunes, took 2 years off, and beat Raquel Pennington by split decision. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Raquel Pennington here, but you're going up against Kayla Harrison next. I don't love losing to Raquel Pennington by split decision as you come into this monster fight against Kayla Harrison, who has been dominating people. Now, minus 800 is way too rich for me, but that is where the prediction is going to go. I think Harrison is going to win this fight. It's hard to say. Is it going to go over? Is it going to go under? I can't take Pena here, and I can't take it with the best bet. Harrison has an opportunity here to prove dominance, and on the flip side, Pena has an opportunity to reestablish herself as that top flight fighter in that division. Because I mean, she's had the title before, and she lost it before. She beat Nunes. Nunes was kind of at the end of her career, and then Nunes came back and beat her. A win over Harrison here really cements Julianna Pena's legacy. Now, that's going to be really hard to do. She's plus 500. I don't think she's going to do it. But an entertaining fight, and I'm very interested to see how this goes for the both of them. Finally, we head to the main event of the evening, the Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley at plus 230 versus Merab Dvalishivili at minus 280. That's the last time I'm going to say his name. He will be Merab for the rest of this show. Now, O'Malley is the fan favorite. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody likes the guy. Now, he claims to have cleaned up his act quite a bit. No more weed, no more Instagram, no more social media. Maybe this is the difference. He believes that this is the difference between winning and losing versus Merab this time around. What concerns me when we say this time around, how soon we are to forget that they fought in September. So they fought less than a year ago, and that fight was not close. Merab absolutely destroyed O'Malley start to finish in that fight. Merab has an insane 12-fight win streak coming into this one, including that win, as I mentioned, over O'Malley back in September. Now, outside of the Merab fight, O'Malley has looked good. Now, he's never looked quite as dominant as we always seem to want, right? He had a good performance against Aljamain Sterling. He's got some of those knockout victories, but sometimes it takes him a little bit too long to get there, it seems. Right? He's got the split decision versus Petr Yan. And that loss last time just looked so bad. While I would love to see O'Malley win, I will be rooting for O'Malley on Saturday night. I really hope him cleaning up his act out of the cage does what it needs to do to go get that title. I can't bet against Merab. He's got that 12-fight win streak, and he just dominates every single person he fights, including O'Malley less than a year ago. I can't emphasize enough. It was less than a year ago. Look, if you bet O'Malley and you win it, good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm rooting for O'Malley. I cannot take him here. I do not have a best bet on this fight. I can see this going a multitude of ways. It probably goes to decision because that's how Merab likes to fight. He likes to grind you out, and he does a great job in grinding you out. He's got a win already this year defending that title. And again, another decision where he just mauls you for 5 rounds, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So we are going to go with Merab to get the win, but I'll be rooting for O'Malley. No best bet here on the main event. All right, a couple more best bets for you guys throughout the rest of the card. Now, this is going to be a great card to watch, and not every card that you watch is going to be a great card to bet. And that is just kind of the case here with this one. I'm really excited to watch every fight. Doesn't mean I'm excited to bet every fight. It's very important that you stay disciplined and you make sure that you're finding edges. And there's just not a ton on this card. That said, I do have 2 more. I also have a long shot, and I have another piece to that PrizePicks play for you guys for those earlier prelims, those other earlier 7 or 8 fights that we got going on. So that first one is going to be Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, and we are going to go with Acosta here. Now, Acosta is the underdog at plus 125. He comes off a 4-fight win streak, and he is the underdog here, while Spivak has dropped 2 of his last 3. So I'm a little bit curious as to why they have it set this way in the sports books, with Spivak being the favorite. Cortez outweighs his opponent by 30 pounds. This is a heavyweight fight, so you do have that large weight disparity that you can actually walk into the fight with, which I think helps these guys. Can help these guys a lot. I mean, you see some of these brutal weight cuts. You don't really get that at the heavyweight division. So he's got that 30-pound advantage. They're the same when it comes to reach. And just with his recent success and recent tear, I really like Cortez Acosta to win this fight. Now, when Acosta wins, it goes about 50-50, whether it is a decision or whether it is a finish. And finish is where we're going to go with our other best bet here on this fight. And we're also going to include this in our PrizePicks or daily fantasy play. We're going to have two plays on that. We're going to go under. We're going to go under on PrizePicks. It's at 10.5 minutes right now, which translates to just over 2 rounds. So we're going under 2 rounds there. And then minus 150, I think under 2.5 is a pretty good price on your standard sports books if that's where you decide to play. If Spivak does pull off a win, he's a much more aggressive fighter, and he tends to have finishes. Now, the other piece here is that Cortez Acosta, right, he kind of splits whether he's finishing or going to decision. So Spivak dropped 2 of his last 3. Both of those he lost by TKO. The last time Spivak went to a decision was all the way back in 2021. So I don't think this fight goes to the decision. Spivak is historically more aggressive, especially in that heavyweight division, and also recently has not done so well. He lost to Cyril Gane, TKO, and Jailton Almeida, also by TKO. That was back in January. So kind of a quick turnaround after getting knocked out. So I like Cortez Acosta at plus 125, and I also like the under at minus 150. We are also going to be taking the under on PrizePicks at under 10 minutes, coupled with that Joe Pyfer under that we were talking about earlier. Last best bet of the night, we're going to the featured prelim between Bruno Silva and Joshua Vaughn. So Vaughn comes in 13-2. He's the rising star, 23 years old. He's going up against Bruno Silva, 14-6-2 in his MMA career, 35 years old. However, Silva did drop his last fight, but he won his previous 4. Vaughn is also on a bit of a tear, winning his last 3 fights as well. All's this to say, and you can see this on the screen, minus 750 and plus 475 just seems wrong. This fight seems really, really close. This fight should have some fireworks. I could see this fight potentially ending in a finish. I don't see how you can have Bruno Silva at plus 475. Vaughn may well go on to win the fight, but if you're talking about value here, plus 475, he's certainly got a better than plus 475 chance to win this fight. Now, if it was plus 200, minus 200, I'd probably be laying off of this, but at plus 475, I can't possibly ignore that. Now, long shot of the night. So when we look at Silva's track record, those last 4 wins that he had, so he was on that 4-fight win streak. So he had tied some good wins together, and they were good wins. Knockout, submission, knockout. Now remember, those were all in a row before losing his last fight to Manel Kape. That was and he lost back in December. But before that, he was on that 4-fight win streak. So when he wins, recently, he's been doing it by finish. And that is where my long shot of the night is going today. We're going with the long shot of the night, Silva to win by finish. KO or submission. So you're going to look for that double chance, right? So you're looking for Silva by KO or submission at plus 750. Now it's juicy, so probably a half unit on that. Don't go bet everything. This is a long shot. There's a pretty good chance this doesn't happen, right? It's plus at plus 730. However, I think they should realistically probably be around like plus 400 or so, like, right? So if Silva's should be plus 150 to win instead of plus 475, you'd say him to win by finish. You know, they're smaller guys, right? They're fighting at the flyweight division, probably in the plus 300, plus 400 range. So again, you're getting plus 730. That is huge, huge, huge value. So those are my best bets. Let's go run through a quick recap of all of them. So we'll start with the bottom of the card and work our way up to the top of the card. So again, we're going Waldo Cortez Acosta to win at plus 125. Next, we are going with the under in that fight at minus 150. And that's part 1 of our PrizePicks play. Under 10 minutes, under 2 rounds on PrizePicks. We're going to include that one as well. Next, that headliner, that prelim headliner of Silva and Vaughn. We're going to go with Silva to win at plus 475. Making our way to the pay-per-view. Our first bet on the pay-per-view is going to be for Mario Bautista, plus 160. That is the pick there. We move on to Gastelum and Pyfer, and this is where our last bets of the night are going to be. We're going to have Pyfer by knockout at plus 225, and we are including that under 2.75 rounds, or 12.75 minutes, I should say, from PrizePicks. That's the second layer to the PrizePicks play. Thank you guys so much for watching. I haven't asked you all videos, so I'm going to ask you right now. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Lots more content coming. We have a monster pay-per-view coming up at the end of the month for International Fight Week, and some great fights along the way as well. I'm sure there will be more best bets coming for those. Also be on the lookout. We're going to be starting with college football and NFL previews in the next month or so. You'll probably see those start to roll out there in July. Thank you again so much for watching, and remember to bet smart and lift heavy.